What happens when power meets assumption? At 30,000 feet on a routine flight, a pilot makes a shocking decision, judging a passenger by appearance and tearing up her ID in front of everyone. The cabin falls silent, but what he doesn't know is she's not just a passenger. She's a federal agent traveling in plain clothes, and this one mistake is about to change everything. This is a powerful story about respect, bias, and how quickly authority can collapse when truth steps in. Watch till the end to see how one moment of arrogance leads to instant consequences. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful stories like this. And now let's get started. The first-class cabin was calm, filled with the quiet hum of passengers settling into wide leather seats. As the plane prepared for departure from Los Angeles to Washington, DC flight attendants moved gracefully through the aisle, offering drinks and checking seatbelts. Among the passengers sat a black woman in her mid-30s, dressed in simple, understated clothing. Nothing that drew attention, yet her posture carried quiet confidence. She placed a small carry-on beneath the seat and glanced at her phone, unfazed by the curious looks from a few nearby travelers who seemed to question her presence in first class. Moments later, the cockpit door opened and the pilot stepped out, his expression tense and impatient, likely due to the already delayed departure. As he walked down the aisle, his eyes paused on the woman. There was a flicker of doubt in his face before he stopped beside her seat. In a firm, almost accusatory tone, he asked to see her boarding pass and identification. The sudden confrontation drew the attention of nearby passengers, their conversations fading into silence. Without hesitation, the woman calmly handed over her ID. Maintaining steady eye contact, her expression unreadable. The pilot barely examined it before letting out a short, dismissive laugh. He muttered something under his breath. Clearly unconvinced then, in a move that shocked everyone nearby, he tore the ID cleanly in half, letting the pieces fall slightly before gripping them in his hand. A collective gasp rippled through the cabin. Flight attendants froze mid-step, unsure how to react. The woman didn't raise her voice or argue. She simply looked at him calm and composed, as if she already understood how this moment would end. The tension in the cabin hadn't settled when the aircraft door suddenly reopened. Two airline supervisors, followed by uniformed security officers, stepped inside with urgency. Their presence immediately shifted the atmosphere from uncomfortable to serious. The pilot, still standing near the aisle with a rigid posture, looked slightly confused but tried to maintain control. Passengers exchanged glances, sensing something far more significant was unfolding. The woman in first class slowly rose from her seat, her calm demeanor unchanged. Without raising her voice, she reached into her bag and produced another form of identification, this time presenting it directly to the approaching officers. One of them examined it carefully, his expression sharpening as he quickly recognized its authenticity. He gave a subtle nod to his partner, and their attention turned toward the pilot. In a composed yet firm tone, the woman identified herself as a federal agent traveling in plain clothes. The words landed heavily in the silent cabin. A ripple of shock moved through the passengers, and even the flight attendants seemed momentarily stunned. The torn ID in the pilot's hand now carried a completely different weight, evidence of a serious lapse in judgment. The pilot's confidence visibly faltered. His earlier authority dissolved as the officers began asking direct questions about his actions. The shift in power was undeniable. What had started as a moment of public humiliation for the woman had turned into a professional crisis for him. Within minutes, he was asked to step off the aircraft for further review. As the situation settled, the woman quietly returned to her seat, her composure never broken. Around her, the cabin remained silent. But the lesson was unmistakable. Assumptions, especially when driven by bias or arrogance, can carry consequences far beyond a single moment.